Hello everyone, Cinzer here, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield VGC video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my experience this past weekend with my first um, live VGC tournament ever. So I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and competed in the first 2020 VGC Showdown. And I actually got top 8 while I was there. I did pretty good, I think, considering that was my first tournament. This is the first year I've ever actually done um, VGC doubles, and it was with a team that I completely put together myself. So, real quick, I got so I won the first 3 matches. They were best of 3 matches. In case you're not familiar with how most tournaments run, um, one of the matches I won the first 2 games, and then 2 of the other ones I won, we both won a game, and then I won the last game. So the total record at the end was 7 total battle wins and 8 losses, with 3 actual matches being won and then 3 matches being lost. So I won the first 3, then I lost one, and then that got me into the. No, I won the first 3, then I lost 2, and then that got me in the top 8. I was in 7th, and then I lost the top 8 or top cut was single elimination, and so I lost the first match. Um, However, the match that I lost in the top 8 was against the same person that I lost to earlier. So I lost to 2 different people total in the whole tournament, and one of them I fought twice. So, and in that fight, the guy that I lost to, I lost both the first 2 matches the first time I fought him, and then the second time I actually won the first round, lost the second round, and I actually did pretty well that last round. Now, the team that I was using is this team right here, G-Max Sandaconda, and I'm gonna go over some more details later, but for now, I'm just gonna go over all the Pokemon. G-Max Sandaconda. Um, Actually, let me go ahead and go to the summary screen. That way you can kind of see their stuff. So I had Gmax Sandaconda, um, Gastrodon, Tyranitar, Hitmontop, Rotom, and Corviknight. So I really like Gmax Sandaconda, and so I wanted to come up with a team that I could use it. Sandaconda in general, I just really liked, um, and so I came up with a leftover Sandaconda. The EVs are, kind of it's mostly defensive, but it has some decent attack. So max HP, more special defense than defense because it's got a pretty good defense already. If I can go back, yeah. And then special defense nature, lower special attack, and a little bit of attack. And I went with Shed Skin instead of Sand Spit, mostly because I have Tyranitar, and also Shed Skin can be pretty useful with all the status effects going on, especially if you get put to sleep or something like that. And then I had Glare, Iron Head, Coil, and High Horsepower. Glare is really nice because it's 100% paralysis, and it can even paralyze ground types where you wouldn't be able to normally with an electric attack. Iron Head mostly for um, it has pretty decent coverage, and if I Dynamax, then I can get that defense boost. Coil is really nice because it gets you an attack, defense, and accuracy boost. I used to run Stone Edge, so the accuracy boost was also helpful for that. But I switched to High Horsepower, which is a good stab move, considering it's a pure ground type. Um, and actually, Sandaconda can hit pretty decently hard, especially if you can get a coil or two out. And then its G-Max move, of course, changes High Horsepower to G-Max Sandblast, which is just a strong ground attack that will also trap them into a like a sand tomb, basically. So the sand tomb will hit both people, even if they are flying or levitating Pokemon. You just can't use the move on a Pokemon that's immune to ground, but the extra effect will hit regardless. Now, of course, that means you can't get the special defense boost, but I still think it's a pretty good move, and it did help actually. The extra damage helped a lot in some games. Now I didn't use it as much, but it also is sort of how my team is set up because I'm going to make some changes, which I'll go over at the end. Typical Gastrodon. Mine's a little bit different though. I wanted my Gastrodon to be able to hit decently well as a whip, so I put some special attack in there. I think it's got like 100 special attack EVs, and then I just kind of split the rest in HP, special defense, and defense. So with a defense nature to um, let it take some hits, and then of course Rindo Berry to stop those getting one shot from grass attacks, and then the typical set: protect, Earth Power, Scald, recover. Storm Drain to stop water moves. I was able to do that a couple times. I fought against Dracovish and some other water Pokemon. I was able to switch in. But yeah, typical Gastrodon. Tyranitar, another typical Tyranitar. Weakness policy Tyranitar. Max HP, max attack. But I actually have a little bit different. I tried out a bunch of different things with Tyranitar, and I'm still tweaking it. I do like the weakness policy. That helped me win some games at the tournament. Um, but yeah, Crunch Rock Slide for sure because of the stab. And I actually went with Fire Punch and Brick Break. I don't have Protect. I originally had Assault Vest, but Assault Vest isn't bad, but the biggest threats that I ran into against Tyranitar is physical attackers, and especially fighting moves. So the Assault Vest wouldn't really have helped me there. But Weakness Policy, if I Dynamax, any Weakness Policy will usually let me survive even fighting moves, and then I can just do so much damage afterwards. The only problem with this set is Tyranitar gets one shot by any fighting attack. That's just what's going to happen. If I don't Dynamax, it gets one shot by a fighting move, and then I can't proc my weakness policy. Now, weakness policy can get proc by other things, but the biggest threats have been fighting moves, and so I ran into a couple games that I lost because I had Tyranitar, and it's but like with weakness policy, if I don't Dynamax it, it's almost like it's a waste because I'm probably going to get one shot by something. So I'm thinking of I kind of want to try Protect out on it, but these moves are really nice. Brick Break, mostly for um, breaking screens. Now, at the tournament, I didn't actually see any Grimmsnarls or really any screens being put up, but screens are still an issue, and so Brick Break can just take them out. Plus, a Max Knuckle can give you a nice attack boost. And then Fire Punch, because one, I don't have any fire coverage, and that's really nice if I run into a Ferrothorn or, it's even good for the grass Pokemon like Vileplume and other. It's just really good coverage. I like Fire Punch on Tyranitar, and then the Max Flare can also change to the Sun if I need to. It's pretty good. So I don't know right now what I would change. I think what I'm gonna try actually putting a Chople Berry on instead of Weakness Policy. Weakness Policy is really nice, but it does kind of limit my options and makes it really bad if I get hit by a fighting move. At least with Chople Berry, I can survive, and Tyranitar can still do a lot of damage even without the Weakness Policy. So I think that'll be one of the changes I make. Hitmontop. I love my Hitmontop. My Hitmontop was my MVP um, during the tournament by far. Intimidate, of course. Max HP, max attack. It hits pretty hard. Adamant nature. Um, it's not that slow. And with Tailwind, Hitmontop is just really nice. And I have a white herb so that whenever I get a lowered stat, it'll raise it back. Now, I honestly have been using it just because the first Hitmontop that I saw when I was doing a rental team had the white herb, and it's nice because of close combat. But um, I am thinking of other items. Assault vest would be nice, but then I couldn't use detect. So the move set that I have is rock slide, which is different. I haven't actually seen. I don't think any Hitmontop use rock slide. Close combat, fake out, and detect. Now I know there are a lot of other nice moves that I could use instead of rock slide, like mock punch. I think you can still get bullet punch. Um, of course, there's feint to go through, protects, stuff like that. Yeah, I like detect because it's basically protect. Fake out for sure. That's the main reason. So I had Arcanine on this team in Hitmontop's place, and that is better overall for like lowering attack because it's got intimidate and I can Will-O-Wisp. But the fake out has been really nice for Whimsicots. Um, there wasn't too many Whimsicots that I fought at the place, but fake out is also just nice in general. Plus, most people see Hitmontop come out, they're thinking fake out. I actually didn't use fake out as much, but just just having it there gives me that option, and it can kind of people expect a fake out coming in, and I use like rock slide or close combat. Now this close combat from Hitmontop hits really hard, but mostly the close combat and rock slide was what really carried my Hitmontop and made it the MVP most of the time. That rock slide, um, again, it's not as hard hitting as like say if I gave it like Mach Punch or something, so that I can get priority, but I didn't want a bunch of priority attacks just because of the Indeedee threat, which again was another thing I didn't see as much. I was expecting like a bunch of Indeedees, Whimsicott, Snorlaxes, but I didn't see that many of them. But Rock Slide is still nice because it's a good coverage move. It can make them flinch, especially if I have a Tailwind going. Uh, you know, Super effective against like Arcanine. Arcanine was by far the biggest threat that I had during the tournament. Um, it's even strong against Togekiss, though. Most Togekiss can tank those rock slides pretty well. But it's overall a pretty good move, and it's a good spread move. Like it's helped me, and also just good for people that have Focus Sash or Focus Sash mixed with the flinch opportunity. Rock Slide is really nice. I think. Could there be other moves that do better? Maybe, but I really like the way my Hitmontop is, and for now, unless I start seeing Rock Slide just really not being helpful, I'm gonna keep it. Okay, and then I have Rotom. Um, it's an interesting Rotom. So I put Choice Scarf on it. I didn't actually. I actually don't remember if I wrote. I don't think I raised its speed at all. I honestly can't remember. But I maxed out its HP because I wanted it to be a sort of bulky, but still that can hit decently hard. So I gave it modest. And again, I honestly cannot remember if I raised its special attack or not. Or no, speed. I didn't raise its speed at all, but I did raise its special attack. So I maxed out its HP. Put some in special defense, and then the rest in special attack. I think that's what I did. So I don't think I put any in speed. Um, so it can hit decently hard and still take some hits. And then I gave it Leaf Storm, Trick, Thunderbolt, and Will-O-Wisp. Now it is an interesting thing, and that's another thing I'm going to think about changing. For right now, so my first thought was I'm going to use Thunderbolt Thunderbolt over other electric attacks because it has the chance to paralyze. But throughout all the times I used Thunderbolt during the tournament, I didn't paralyze them one time. And then even if they are paralyzed, there's RNG with that. So I'm thinking of changing. I'm gonna change this to Volt Switch for now. I also want to try Discharge out, but um, I still have Pokemon that would get hurt pretty badly. So I'm gonna try a Volt Switch for now. Leaf Storm, of course. I went with the Rotom Mo over the other ones because it was just good for my team. Because I had Sandaconda and my two biggest you know Pokemon on my team, Sandaconda and Tyranitar, are weak to like water um, and like ground type Pokemon. So Leaf Storm is good for that. Plus Gastrodon. Gastrodon's always a big threat. Gastrodon was a threat during the tournament as well. So Leaf Storm is really nice against that. Thunderbolt for like Gyarados for instance, um, and then Will-O-Wisp because I gotta have Will-O-Wisp. I can't have a team without Will-O-Wisp. I think it's just so nice to be able to burn people. It sucks though against like people like Arcanine and other fire Pokemon that I can't Will-O-Wisp. But I also have Trick for a couple things. One is one option for me to deal with Gmax Snorlax, but again, I didn't see any this weekend because I would just trick the berry away from him and then give him a choice scarf, and then he's kind of stuck. Also, I did trick on Dusclops. A lot of Trick Room um, teams use Dusclops, and so you just trick the Eviolite off of him, and they become frail. Like I won a battle that by doing that. I used Trick, take the Eviolite off, and then I one-shot it with my Tyranitar, and they couldn't get Trick Room up. But it also can be used for other, I can take a weakness policy off of something. Trick has been really nice. The only problem is that because I have a choice scarf, I have to think, okay, I don't have that many options. I either Leaf Storm and I'm stuck there. I can pretty much Leaf Storm once or twice, and I have to switch out. because of my special attack can be so low, or I Thunderbolt. But then if there's Pokemon that's going to be resistant to Thunderbolt, especially if I can't switch, then Rotom is stuck and I can't do anything. So a lot of times it's like I kind of have to trick turn one just so I don't get locked into an attack. Um, but I could have played it better as well. There's times when I could have just used Will-O-Wisp even if I would have been locked into it. But overall, I do like this set, and I'm going to keep going with this set. I'm just going to switch Volt Switch with Thunderbolt and then try that out. But I really like this Rotom. It has been helpful. And then finally, I think that's the last one. Yeah, Corviknight. Citrus Berry for recovery. It was my Tailwind user. I chose Unnerve over Mirror Armor again for um, Pokemon like Snorlax, so they can't use its berry, Gmax Snorlax. But also, if I have it out against like Gastrodon or other people that use berries to reduce their damage, I do like Unnerve. But overall, I just from the tournament, I didn't see it mattering that much. So, but anyway, the stats: special defense, nature, max HP, some attack and defense, and the rest in special defense. And then I had Tailwind, Roost, Iron Head, Brave Bird. So it survives pretty well, except for against like fire Pokemon and hard hitting electric Pokemon. But I can usually get Tailwind out and then survive with Roost. I was able to win some battles by doing that, by having my Tailwind out and then just surviving while I have my other Pokemon take them out. But overall, it's like it's okay. It does hit for decent damage with Brave Bird and Iron Head, and I can even Dynamax it if I want. I did that a couple times with Max Airstream because it's a regular Corviknight. But overall, this is gonna be the first change that I make. So those are my 6 Pokemon that I have for the team. Now going forward, what happened at the tournament? So the biggest threat that I had was definitely Pokemon that can cripple physical attackers. Because although yes, I only have 2 Pokemon that even use special attack, Rotom and Gastrodon, and both of those are more like defenses slash utility attackers. Um, Rotom and Gastrodon can still do a decent amount of damage, but it's not enough. I can't rely on them, especially because of the way they're set up. So my Hitmontop, Tyranitar, Sandaconda, and Corviknight all were heavily crippled by fighting people like Arcanine, Dragapult, Pokemon that'll go in Dynamax to get defense, so that now my attacks do less. And then I had an Arcanine that kept switching out, so he just kept rotating Intimidates and then Will-O-Wisp, because that lowers my attack as well. So I just couldn't do any damage. Like I had a Dynamax Tyranitar, even with weakness policy, but it had it had 2 Intimidates on it. It kept Arcanine kept switching out and back in to get Intimidate, and I was burned, so I just couldn't do that much damage. So that was a big weakness. And Corviknight is a physical attacker as well. Um, and of course, Dragapult was a problem because it would Dynamax and Steel Wing, and it hits so hard. And like Steel Wing hurts Tyranitar. Doesn't really hurt too much the other Pokemon, but it just Dragapult just hits so hard that even my like Gastrodon and like my Hitmontop is one shot by a Dynamax Dragapult's Max Wormwind. Rotom I don't think was one shot, but it was like 2 shots. So I couldn't do a lot to if my Pokemon were crippled. So that was one of the biggest things. And then of course another Gastrodon coming in kind of limits my stuff if I have Gastrodon out. But one switch I'm going to make is Togekiss for Corviknight. I think that's going to be a huge help for this team. And that's in terms of Pokemon switches. That's the only one I'm going to make for right now, and see how that goes. Because I think just having that, honestly, if I had that at the tournament, if I had Togekiss instead of Corviknight, um, I think I would have done even better. I think I would have been top 4 at least. At the very least, the last match that I lost, I might have been able to win that if I had Togekiss instead. So I have the Togekiss that I'm gonna start trading now. It's got super luck because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it still fulfill Corviknight's role, and if you look up Togekiss stats, it's pretty like just all around, it's pretty good. Like his HP max, I mean, it's base HP is 80. Um, it's got I think it's like 90 or 95 defense, and like it's over 100 special defense, like 120 special attack, speed base 80. It's just got great stats all around. So if you EV train it defensively, it can survive some hits, and even with like a four EV investment special attack, it can still hit pretty hard. So my plan is to have Dazzling Gleam, Follow Me, Tailwind, and Yawn for right now, and I'm gonna try that out with a Babiri Berry, and it's gonna be Super Luck because I don't need Serene Grace really because I only have one attack and it doesn't do any bonus effects. So Super Luck just get that chance of hitting a crit with Dazzling Gleam, and Dazzling Gleam is a good spread move. Does decent damage. Tailwind, and it's already fast, so that'll make it with some speed investment. I use a Tailwind that I can go before other Pokemon, hit them with a Dazzling Gleam, Follow Me. Um, with my Togekiss, I think I will be using Sandaconda more because I actually didn't use Sandaconda that much in the tournament, but it was pretty decent. And having a Tailwind and then Follow Me, that'll allow my Sandaconda to set up. Like even one coil is huge. If I can get a couple coils off on Sandaconda and Dynamax, then Sandaconda becomes a sweeper, like just as strong as Tyranitar. So like one option is to lead Togekiss Sandaconda. Depending on who I'm going against, either Follow Me or Tailwind turn one, Coil. I could also just Glare, Yawn, put them to sleep. So it'll depend on the meta on that last move. I think I'm definitely gonna have Follow Me, Dazzling Gleam, Tailwind's not gonna change. That fourth move, depending on the meta. If there's people that are stopping sleep or status effects in general a lot, then I'm gonna switch Yawn out and probably put in Helping Hand or something. Because Helping Hand is really helpful as well. But just switching that out, I think is gonna be really nice. It allows me to use Sandaconda more. It could also just be good for the other Pokemon. It allowed me to use Tailwind more because another thing is I didn't bring Corviknight as much as well. Um, there were times when I didn't really think I needed the speed boost, but it would have been helpful. Switching Corviknight out with Togekiss means that I can bring Togekiss nearly every match and be good. Because the Tailwind, Hitmontop is really nice with Tailwind because it's not that fast. I mean, it's not that slow, but it's also not really that fast. And I have no speed investment, but when it has double, speed, uh, like two stages of speed boost, and it hits pretty hard. That close combat hits really hard. Unless they're resistant and got some defense boosts, close combat's going to hit hard no matter what you are. Of course, besides a ghost. And then, of course, my Sandaconda, Tyranitar, all these Pokemon. Gastrodon probably not so much, but every other Pokemon can benefit greatly from it. I can uh, Follow Me with Tyranitar out to let it set up if I keep weakness policy, or even if I don't. Um, there's not that many spread moves that are really do too much damage to Tyranitar, except for maybe a Hyper Voice Sylveon. Um, just yeah, it's gonna be pretty good all around. And then of course the Dazzling Gleam that it'll do to get the extra damage that Corviknight wouldn't have been able to do. For this particular team, um, Corviknight switching out with Togekiss is good. Even though Corviknight is resistant or immune to the sand, that's not going to do that much damage to Togekiss. So I think that alone will greatly increase the team's viability. Because just switching my Arcanine with Hitmontop really made the team a lot better. So that's what I'm going to go with next. So that's going to be my next plan. I got to go get Volt Switch because I don't have Volt Switch yet. And then, yeah, I was going to train this. I got to figure out the EV spread that I need on Togekiss, but I think I got it down. So the the next video that I'm going to do is going to be showcasing my improved team, but it'll still be similar to the team that I used during the mid-season showdown. So that's all I wanted to go over. Just my report on my first tournament. I'm a pretty new VGC player. This is my first year doing it, my first tournament, but I've learned a lot so far, and I'm very excited to just get better and come up with more teams and strategies, and hopefully do some more guides as well once I get more knowledgeable. So please give a like, subscribe for future videos. I'll be doing a bunch of content. I'm not going to Dallas regionals, but I will be going to the Collinsville regionals at the end of February. And yeah, watch out for more videos as I showcase my journey to through VGC 2020. And as always, thanks for watching.